Hey everybody, welcome back to Artful Reflections at First Congregational Church of Anchorage. I am Reverend Jacob. I still have my flannel shirt on. The world is going to be okay. Today's story is a riddle from Judges chapter 14. Samson's father traveled down, and Samson put on a feast there, as was the custom for young men. When the townspeople saw him, they selected 30 companions to be with him. Then Samson said to them, "Let me tell you a riddle. If you can figure it out and tell me the answer within 7 days of the feast, I'll give you 30 linen robes and 30 sets of clothes. But if you can't tell me the answer, then it's you who will have to give me 30 linen robes and 30 sets of clothes." So they replied to him, "Tell your riddle. Let's hear it." And he said to them, "Out of the eater there came something to eat. Out of the strong there came something sweet." This is a riddle that we'll get to the explanation of if you don't already know, but I thought we'd first just take a look at this particular carving. All of these puzzles that we see here today were made by John Lime, a member of the church. This one is a particular gear set that I have used before or during a service. It's fun. So this story about Samson and his father and his wedding and this riddle starts with Samson actually coming into contact with a lion, so the story says, and he faces this lion and kills the lion, but he doesn't tell his parents. And when he comes back and comes across the carcass of the lion, the skeleton, as the story says, he sees that there is a hive of honey, or a hive of bees full of honey in the carcass, and he scoops some out and he eats it. And then when he gets down to this feast with other people, he decides that he's going to use this riddle to get something, because Samson's, generally an awful human being. See, in the book of Judges, Samson is the last judge, and the judges in the book of the 12, they get progressively worse towards the end. Well, I should say, especially after Gideon, they get perpetually worse. So Samson is generally he's an awful guy. There's really not a lot of explanations to go with that. But what he does is he challenges these people at his wedding that if they answer his riddle, they will get something from him. And if they answer, or if they can't answer, then he will get something from them. Which, of course, he asks, and they are not able to answer. But the story goes on that Samson's wife comes up to him and complains that he is making a fool out of her because he has a riddle that was too difficult for the people to answer in her town. And so Samson says that he's not going to give her the answer, and 7 days comes up, and on the 7th day she finally convinces him to tell her the answer. And so she immediately tells the people in her village and her town, and they answer Samson with the answer to the riddle. And of course, as is the case with Samson, he rages and is angry and is violent towards other people. So that's that story. Anyway, these puzzles are made by John Lime, as I mentioned. And these are sort of puzzles that we put in some welcome bags, that if visitors come and young children are there, that they get a puzzle that they can take home with them. These are carved by John. This is also a piece that I have in my office all the time, and it's got a broken tail, but as you can see, it's a whale. And there is this pin right here that's what they call in a puzzle, they would call it a locking pin. And once you enter that eye pin, then the whale stays together. But if you take the eye pin out, you can pull this section out, And then you can divide these two, and you get 4 pieces, plus a little person in there. And you can probably guess that this little wood figure represents Jonah, who is traveling in the belly of the whale. So we'll put that back together. It's a fun puzzle. You have to make sure you put it in the correct order, or else it won't stay together correctly. So there is a whale, or a big fish. I think it actually just says big fish in the actual reading, if I'm not mistaken. This is another bug, and it's a beetle, or I think maybe a ladybug. This one's an odd puzzle. Well, actually, it's not odd, but it's a difficult puzzle because all the pieces are hand cut. So that means that you have to match up the puzzle pieces just right to go into the right spot. Make sure that the sizes match. What I have discovered, and I keep remembering, is that the head of the ladybug, which is over here, the thorax, I think. I don't know what that's called. I think it's a thorax. The feet have to point up towards the top of the ladybug. Maybe it's this one. Nope. So the book of Judges, it really has this sort of up and down nature to it. If you think about it, there's about 12 judges, and they get, some of them are not that bad. It starts off pretty okay, and it kind of gets to this focal point around Gideon. And Gideon is sort of the high point of the judges. And then it goes downhill real quick because Gideon's son Abimelech is this awful, awful human being. And he actually goes as far as to kill all of his brothers in order to be the one king, which Gideon himself refused to be the people's king because he said they didn't need one. Anyway, so then we get all the way to Jonah. It's getting this progressively worse, and then after Jonah, we get into the, 1st and 2nd Samuel, where where are we going here? Where is this corner piece? We get into Saul as the king, and Saul's kind of a transitional figure, I suppose you could say, between the kings, or the judges, and the kings. So anyway, the answer to the riddle, though, all right, what am I doing here? The answer to the riddle for Samson is honey and a lion. I could read it again. The answer goes, what is sweeter than honey? What's stronger than a lion? To the original riddle, out of the eater there comes something to eat. Out of the strong there came something sweet. I don't know if I mentioned that earlier. So we're getting somewhere. This is actually a whale too, and they were kind of cut into pieces and then put back together. I feel like I'm missing something here. All right. Keep trying. The hardest thing about these puzzles is that the orient, upside down and right side up is not clear. So you kind of have to guess which one goes where. All right, I know this goes on the end over here, I'm pretty sure. There it is. Doesn't quite match the Roy G. Biv color pattern of a rainbow, but it's pretty close. Plus this particular whale is a friendly whale. Corner pieces, where are you? Here we go. This goes right down in here. You never know what you're going to come across on YouTube. I think this might be upside down. That might be the problem. Oh, that was it, I think. Man, this is hard. All right. Okay. So this goes there. Matches up. Looks like something comes over the top. Comes in there. I think it's maybe this one. No. So I'm glad you could be with me on this very difficult puzzle build. Wow, this is hard. All right, let's think about that piece right down there. That can't be right. Ah, there we go. Getting somewhere. Aha. Okay, that's still not the right corner piece. We're going to figure this out. Which way is it? Bingo. So it seems like even right now there are lots of sort of puzzles to solve, and they are sort of life and death puzzles. I saw the news reports that they're, even things like the medical ship is in harbor in New York, and that they're building tents as hospitals in Central Park. It's a strange day. Some people are trying to solve really, really complex problems. But today I am just going to solve this one. This puzzle is what I'm going to figure out, maybe. I don't know how painful this is to watch on a video, but it's got to be bad. All right, we're just about finished with this puzzle. A rainbow whale. Here we go. Almost. All right. So we have a rainbow whale swimming in a glittery frame, matched up with a wooden puzzle whale. We also have this ladybug puzzle, a nice horse, a couple dinosaurs, an owl. Maybe this could make you think of dancing owls, our after-school project program that we're working on. Thanks for being with me today. I'm glad you could, watch nothing on YouTube for a few minutes, think about puzzles, and rethink Samson a little bit. All the children's stories paint him as a fairly reasonable figure. He wasn't. He was pretty awful. So, enjoy your puzzles. See you later.